Hello, soul family. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. In this reading, we're diving into the question, why do you feel stuck and how can you move forward? This is a collective message, so if you found this video, trust that there's something here for you. If you enjoy this reading, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a message. All right, let's get into this. So the very first card we have here is vegetarian vegan. And let me tell you a really quick story. So a year before I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I kept getting this card. Like every reading that I was doing on myself, this card would always fall out the deck. So obviously that was my spirit team, telling me that I need to change my diet. And lo and behold, a year later, I was diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Another thing about diabetes that I learned, the metaphysical reason for diabetes was not enough sweetness in your life. That's the metaphysical reason for type 2 diabetes. Not enough sweetness in your life, not enough yummy relationships in your life, not enough yumminess in your life. And that brings me to every time I see this card. So that's the first thing, since this is the first card. And the question is, why do you feel stuck? And what can you do to get moving? Yeah, why do you feel stuck and how can you move forward? That is because this is the first card. This is what it is. So I feel like there's something about what you're consuming. Now, for some of you, you may literally need to change your diet because that's one factor. One factor is literally the food we eat kind of change our DNA a little bit and make it not operate correctly. So sometimes it could be something you're eating that's causing a lot of your depression or, down days or stuck feeling. I mean, we know that when you eat a good meal, you can easily get sleepy after the meal, depending on what it is. So that's one factor. That's just a small factor. And for some of you, you may need to do both of these. But in human design, food relates to everything that you take in. So not just food, but the type of people you have around you, the type of news you watch, the type of things you scroll through on your social media feed, the type of, so it's just basically about how we take in life. Food is tied to that. So that's the second thing. And so a lot of you that found this video, those are the two things that's keeping you stuck. It's the food you're eating, literal food, or just what you have going on in your life. What type of people do you have around you? Do they inspire you? Do they uplift you? But anyway, let's get into this reading. That was just a quick thought I thought about as soon as I seen that card. I feel like there's something about what you're consuming, both physically and mentally, that's keeping you stuck. When I see this, I don't just think about food in a literal sense, but also about what you're feeding your mind and your spirit and your energy. Our bodies and minds are deeply connected, and sometimes feeling stuck is a sign that something needs to be cleared out, whether that's certain foods, certain thoughts, or even certain influences in your life. I've personally had this card come up repeatedly before for me, which I told you guys, a major health shift in my own life. So it makes me wonder if there's something your body is trying to tell you before it becomes a bigger issue. And beyond the physical, I feel like there's also a need to look at what kind of information, beliefs, or even environments you are absorbing. If something isn't nourishing you, if it's weighing you down instead of giving you energy, that might be the very thing keeping you from moving forward. All right. I also feel like this next card really connects to what I was just saying about what you're consuming, not just in terms of food, but in terms of energy, beliefs, and influences around you. This card is really pushing you to examine your belief system and whether it's truly yours or something you've taken in from others, especially if those around you don't support your unique path. And the card I'm talking about, because I don't think I said it, but it's the card that says 0110 belief systems. On that card, it says you're blessed with talent and skills that make it easy for you to stand out from the crowd. Embrace what makes you different. That's your path to success. Your dreams will soon come true. So that just goes into what we was just talking about with the food. It's like you are blessed with skills and talents. Do the people you have around you see that also? You know, or are they shooting you down? Are you afraid to stand out and do your own thing? Or, you know, what is it? So this card is really pushing you to examine your belief systems and whether it's truly yours or something you've taken in from others, especially if those around you don't support or appreciate your unique path. You have gifts, talents, and a destiny that's meant to stand out. But if you're surrounded by people or environments that don't nourish that, it can feel like you're stuck in place. And I just have to say something about that, because that happens to so many people. That's why they tell you you'll be no better than the 5 people that you hang around. Because it's like, and they tell you, if you want to change your life, change the people in your life, kind of find people who are doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, there's a big difference and shift in energy when you surround yourself with people who actually see you and see your talents and cheer you on, support you, versus having to be strong and just do it all on your own. But that may be one of the reasons why you feel stuck. You have gifts, talents, and a destiny that's meant to stand out. But if you're surrounded by people or environments that don't nourish that, it can feel like you're stuck in place. Just like with food. If what you're taking in isn't fueling you, it's time to shift. What beliefs are you holding on to that might actually belong to someone else? What outside voices have shaped how you see yourself and what you're capable of? This is a reminder that your path to success isn't in blending in, it's in embracing what makes you different and allowing yourself to fully step into that, no matter who doesn't get it. So you hear that? All right, now the next card that I am looking at is hexagram 64, before completion, confusion. So this card isn't necessarily introducing nothing new, but instead is confirming and deepening everything we've already talked about. It's like a final piece that ties it all together. This moment of feeling stuck isn't permanent. It's part of the transition, like being in between where you are, where you were, and where you are going. And just like any major shift, it requires the right conditions. That means surrounding yourself with the right people, nourishing yourself with the right energy, the right food, whether that's food, beliefs, or environments, and recognizing your natural gifts, even if you don't fully see them yet. I also feel like this speaks to the process of fully stepping into your potential. At first, there's confusion, pressurized mental activity, like the card says, because you're trying to make sense of the past and unlearn what's not really yours. But then comes qualification, realizing that you do have talents and skills, even if you haven't acknowledged them before. And what I'm doing right now is I'm reading on this hexagram 64 card. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it has line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, and line 6. And that's what I'm kind of reading off the lines. But if you don't know anything about human design, you may not have no idea what I'm talking about. So actually, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to skip past that. So realizing that you do have skills and talents, even if you haven't acknowledged them before. From there, conviction builds the promise of what's ahead, becomes clear, and finally you step into victory, which is line 6. So if you're feeling uncertain right now, know that it's just a sign you're still in the process. You're moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like you're moving forward. And then this next card, which is 55555, clarity. It says on the card, you aren't a victim of circumstances. Rather, you are the beneficiary of it. If that weren't the case, life would be pretty dull. So this card is confirmation that all of this shifting, all of this uncertainty is leading exactly where it needs to. It's the reassurance that even though you might feel like you're in a place of transition, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. You're not stuck. You're actually in the middle of a major transformation. And the things that feel challenging right now are the very things setting you up for success in the long run. And I like what I just said there, because that's often when we feel stuck, that's exactly what we think. We are stuck. But really, being stuck is that middle ground between just simply getting clear on where you want to go next. So you're not really stuck. You just in the process still. All right. So now this next card is flow with the rhythm. What that pretty much means, this card is coming in as the next step. Now that you understand you're in a transition and that everything is shifting for your highest good, the key is to stop resisting and start flowing with it. Movement is what brings clarity, and this is telling you to trust the rhythm of your own process. Instead of overthinking or trying to force things to happen a certain way, let yourself move with the energy that already carrying you forward. So kind of follow your bliss, like do what you know you should do next, but don't surrender to what you know you should be doing next. Because that's another thing that keep people stuck. They afraid to surrender to their life. It's like you may get the idea to, I don't know, jump off a bridge. Okay, I don't want to say that. Let me take that back. But sometimes we get these weird ideas and we like, oh no, I can't do that. But really, you can do it, and that may be the very thing you need to do to move forward. So, because movement brings clarity. Instead of overthinking or trying to force things to happen a certain way, let yourself move the energy that's already carrying you forward. Whether it's physical movement like dancing, walking, or just getting out of your usual environment, or simply shifting your mindset or allowing things to unfold naturally. The more you flow, the easier this transition will feel. You're not meant to stay stuck. You're meant to move, evolve, and fully step into everything that's waiting for you. And here is the final message. Right now you might feel stuck, but what's actually happening is transformation. A shift that's pushing you towards something bigger. You're in the process of clearing out old beliefs, old habits, and even old influences that no longer align with who you're becoming. And while that transition can feel confusing or uncertain at times, the key is to trust it, to flow with it rather than resist it. The Star card is showing me that this is a time of renewal and hope. You're being guided towards your true path, but first you need to give yourself the space to heal. Just like the Four of Swords suggests, this isn't about forcing things or rushing ahead. It's about allowing clarity to come through rest, reflection, and trust in the process. And then there's duality, reminding you that things aren't always black and white. Just because you don't have all the answers yet doesn't mean you're lost. Growth happens in the space between what was and what will be. You're learning to balance the different aspects of yourself, your light and your shadow, your doubt and your confidence, so you can step into the fullness of your power. And speaking of power, those last two cards, Bag and Throne, are telling me that this transformation is leading you towards something important, whether it's a new opportunity, a leadership role, or simply stepping into a stronger, more confident version of yourself. You are being positioned for success. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you're stuck, when in reality, you're already moving forward. So how do you move forward? By embracing the shift, by feeding yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually with what truly supports you, by recognizing your natural gifts and talents and trusting that they are meant to take you somewhere great, by letting go of anything that drains you and aligning yourself with people and habits and the beliefs that fuel you. The more you flow with this transition, the clearer everything will become, and in the end, you'll see that everything was unfolding exactly as it needed to, all to bring you to this moment of stepping fully into your power. All right, I guess that is all I have for you guys. Again, like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed my reading. Goodbye.